Hello there, citizens. This is Star Citizen for Noobs, and today we are taking a look at one of my favorite ships in this game at a reasonable price point. And by reasonable, I mean under a couple $100. We are taking a look at the Misc Freelancer in all of its beautiful, chrome-covered glory. This thing is a straight-up warboat or war van. A lot of people call it a missile van. But, I mean, look at this. We have these huge size 3 gun mounts on the aft and starboard sides of the ship, of the vessel. Lots of firepower here alone. That'll be your primary fire. Then we go down here, and we got these big old missiles. This thing comes stock, at least I know in the updated 3.00, in the alpha that is out right now in late 2017. When I purchased this ship, it came with, I think it has 8 missiles. I know I've heard other people say that you can get it up to 16. I'm planning to do that at some point. I've only had this ship for about 24 hours, but man, I gotta say, this thing is great. It's great as a solo pilot, but if you have a couple of friends that you can jump into the verse with, this is your ship. This is your vessel, right? Pick one of your guys, one of your friends that you play Star System with, maybe the one that has some extra money. Tell them to buy this ship. It is so fun for team gameplay, for a few people to get together. One guy can hop up in here, jump up in the turret, and like I was saying before, a single pilot in this thing has a huge amount of firepower to begin with, right? Like, almost a silly amount of firepower. Then you add to the fact that you have a 360-degree turnable, movable turret on the top of the craft that can be piloted and turned and moved independently. So let's say you're doing a cargo run. You've left Port Alisar, you're going to Yela, and you get to that asteroid belt, and a whole bunch of pirates show up. Well, if I'm doing this solo, what my primary goal will be to kind of run it slow, get them in front of me, get them open for missile shots, and use the missiles on this frickin' thing to just blow them out of the sky. But if I do have another crew member with me, I will tell them to run back and man the turret, and they can hop in there. And while I'm trying to get missile locks and maybe lay down some fire with those big ballistic cannons, they can be shredding people out of the sky with this awesome turret, with this I love this turret. I also think that the animations on this turret, like how you get in and out of it, just this little like elevator sort of setup and then you slide down, I think it's really well done. I mean, this is one of my favorite ships in the game, not just because I own it and not just because it's massive. It has a lot of awesome features. Onto the car, I mean, we covered the weaponry. If you guys have any more questions about the weaponry, maybe toss a comment below. I interact with you guys. Anyone that drops a comment, I will answer it. So now let's take a look at the cargo, right? Wow, yeah. There's a lot of cargo here. One thing to note and one thing to be careful about is there's a reason that this is blocked off right here with some hash marked lines. If you do pick up the ship and you're doing cargo runs, or you pick up a black box or a flight recorder and you need to put it in here, don't put it in the turret, because you won't be able to get in and out of your turret if you do that. So you don't want to really do that to yourself. That's not something that anyone wants to do. But anyway, the cargo area. This is a big enough cargo area, and this thing can hold enough weight to where you can be doing a 0.5 mil run right now in a UEC currency. You can go into the live build. If you have the money, purchase a 0.5 mil of cargo, stick it back here, run it up to Yela, run it up to Grimhex, and make some money. I think this, in terms of being able to actually earn alpha credits in-game right now in the 3.0 live build, this ship is one of the best ways to do it. You can pack a lot of cargo in here. The Freelancer is quick, it's pretty agile, it's fast. I mean, it's just a great all-around ship. And then, like, moving on from that, like, later in the game, once we have a more finalized build, these beds are going to become key. Because think about it. Imagine yourself. You got 3 friends with you. You are flying, doing cargo runs, going to jump points, because yes, this ship does include a jump engine from the rip. But think about it. You got a few people with you, and you are doing a long distance cargo run, or you're, you know, transporting goods, and you land on the surface of a planet, and you gotta go back to the real world, unfortunately, to make dinner or something. Well, you and your buddies lay down in these beds, go to sleep, log out, and then when you log back in, you will be in the same place, and you will wake up in your little bed, be able to get up, go up here into this beautiful cockpit, and sit back down and get right back into the action. So it is nice that it has a habitation area where you can log out and save and whatnot. One thing that I would like to mention is that feature, I don't really understand where it's at in 3.0. I have tried that in a few different ships, and I haven't really successfully been able to log out using the bed and then actually come back and wake up in the bed in my ship. Hopefully that's something that they will patch in with 3.001 or 3.1, but we'll see. Now, the cockpit. There's a lot to say about the cockpit here. I mean, it's not my favorite cockpit. From a single pilot perspective, the visibility is meh. It's not much more than meh. You do have this kind of thin window. Nothing like the visibility on the Avenger ahead of us or anything else for that matter. I mean, this thing, the visibility is not great. It really isn't. But I think that makes sense. I think CIG knows what they're doing in that sense. Like, if this thing had a fully open cockpit with its maneuverability and with its speed, I think it would be kind of overpowered. I think a ship like this kind of needs a cockpit like this in certain ways. It's just a little bit more realistic. A ship like this would have a nice thick hull on it, and they'd want to be protecting you from fire. So it makes sense that the entire front's not glass. It can just be a little bit frustrating in terms of visual navigation, but you do have a nice star map, fully interactable here, right? So all of the dials work. And actually, this is this ship has one of, in my opinion, some of the best menu systems. They're easily accessible and reachable. The only thing that I don't like about the menu systems in this ship is if you look at this from the pilot's seat, you kind of get some blocking here. So if I did have a second set of guns, I would have a tough time. Like, I can't even turn the missiles on and off here because my arm's blocking it. But if I really needed to, I could just go over here, change this one to weapons too, turn my missiles on and off, right? So the cockpit's not perfect, but I do like the fact that you have a 4-seater cockpit. This thing is fun to pilot solo. Let me just say that first. It is fun to pilot this thing by yourself. You feel like a badass. You're flying a huge ship. You feel like you're in a flying fortress or a B-42 bomber, but if you do have friends in the verse, or even just if you pick up this ship, go to the forums, let people know you have a freelancer, let people know you're looking for a crew. If you own this ship and you don't try to do a couple runs at least with a crew inside of it with you, you're really missing out on some of the best features of this ship. I mean, if you got one guy up top piloting, controlling these aft guns and the missile systems on the wings, and then you have a guy up on the top turret and maybe a co-pilot doing navigation stuff, or maybe doing scanning and alike, it is the experience the Star Citizen is going for. And also, because of the reduced visibility, it is great to have someone up in that top turret. If you do have fighters or pirates chasing you around trying to get your cargo, you can lay down some fire and make them think twice maybe about trying to take your freelancer down. With that said, I think a lot of people, if they come across the freelancer and they're in a relatively small fighter, they're not really going to want to mess with you. Maybe some of the cockier ones, maybe a marauder that's just kind of crazy and wants to go for it. But I mean, this thing has a lot of firepower to it. It is not to be trifled with. It's also a pretty quick ship. Let's just do a really quick size comparison here. I'll go over here and just kind of turn around so you guys can see the scale. So that's the Freelancer. That's the Aegis Stalker. Now the Stalker is a little bit bigger than the Mustang, a little bit longer. If I'm correct, if I'm not correct, just drop a comment, let me know. I actually do like being corrected by you guys. and I really do like when my audience engages. So leave comments. I will respond every time. I know that's hard to believe, but if you look at my other video, I responded within a couple hours. So if you guys have suggestions for content or specific things, items, weapons, ships that you want to see, let me know. I will literally go into the verse and buy them just so you can see them. Also, I am looking for people to join me in crewing my freelancer. So drop a comment below if you'd like to, even if you'd like to fly this thing around, even if you've just started Star Citizen, I'll let you hop in here and pilot this thing. So yeah, I really like to interact with my community, but I think what we should do now is we should probably take this thing out for a spin so I can show you guys some of the flight capabilities and what it's actually like taking it through the verse. Okay, so now we just called it out of stock, so we're gonna go run up to the ship. We got it on CO7 for the landing pad. And yeah, once again, I'd like to repeat, if any of you would like to join me in the verse, drop a comment below and I will give you guys my handle. And once again, I am looking for people to help crew this ship. I also have, a various amount of ships in my fleets. I would love to get together and do some community gameplay, do some events. I'm also looking at possibly, if this channel starts to grow quick enough, we could do something. I'm thinking about purchasing a game package to do a giveaway with. Let me know what you guys think of that too. If you guys think that's something that you'd be interested in, and you guys think that you could like and subscribe. Let's just say if I get 10 subscribers from this video, 20 subscribers, I will give away a game package, because I actually do, I do have an extra game package at my disposal. So unfortunately, we are getting terrible frames per second right now. Not a factor of my PC itself, just a factor of the 3.0 build. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but I always like to repeat this in almost every video. This game is an alpha, heavy alpha, not even close to being done. So performance errors and performance is not, performance just isn't where we want it to be quite yet. But I personally believe that with 3.1 coming, from most sources, it sounds like 3.1 should be out in the next couple of months, next 2 to 3 months. I think we're gonna get some performance back. I think the performance will jump up once that update is live. So let's just get in the cockpit. I didn't really feel like trying to get together a crew. If you guys are interested in seeing a crew gameplay, once again, drop a comment and I will do that if that's what you guys would like to see. But let's just do a quick takeoff here. Got the flight systems on. And once again, now you can really see what I'm talking about with this cockpit. Not a huge range of visibility here, right? Not the best, but it's flyable, right? I mean, it's still very flyable. So let's do a little takeoff here. The lag is pretty brutal, but maybe if we get a little bit outside of Port Alisar, sometimes that can help. Let's take our landing gear up, and I'll switch to this just so you guys can maybe see a little bit more. I know it's telling me collision alert. Okay, so let's just take a look around. If you guys want to know how I just did that, press Z, go into free look, so you're no longer controlling the ship with the mouse. But this thing is just beautiful. I mean, come on, look at this. If I had someone up in that turret up top where it's live and it's spinning around and doing its thing, I mean, I think it is one of the better looking ships in Star Citizen. One thing I forgot to mention in our little hangar tour is if you see that circle on the top of the ship, that's actually a docking port. So once that mechanic's introduced, you will be able to have other ships dock with you, or you could dock with a space station or something like that, and transfer contents or people between the ship and between the Freelancer and whatever else is docked with the Freelancer. So let's jump back into the cockpit here. Now that we're out in outer space, I can show you, yeah, the cockpit is not super visible. I really wish that this top area went down a little bit further, but I still think that this ship is one of my favorite ships to fly. It's one of my favorite ships to mess around with. Let's see if there's any good contracts. Maybe we'll make this into a little bit longer video, or maybe I'll break it into 2 different things and show you guys just running a mission on it. Mercenaries are needed to eliminate a hostile group of attack ships. This is probably stupid for me to go in as a solo pilot and do, but maybe I can show you guys just a couple seconds of real fighter gameplay, because one thing I don't like to see is when people say, oh, like dogfighting gameplay with the Misc Freelancer, and then they go into Arena Commander, and that's where they get the footage from. It's kind of not representative of what's going to happen if you actually try to take this thing out, get into a dogfight with it in the actual alpha, because the performance is so rough. It can be very hard to pilot sometimes, but this thing also looks really nice going through quantum space. Ooh, look at that. Let me just turn free look on again. Ooh, yeah. She is pretty. You gotta give her that.
Quantum travel complete.
She's gorgeous. Quantum travel complete. Where's the, where is... Yeah. I mean, as you guys can probably tell, just from this slight bit of gameplay here, turning around and doing stuff, getting pretty low frames per second here. I think if we actually got into a dogfight, it would be very difficult, probably not that fun to watch. But look at this. That's when we're firing our primary cannons on either side. 4 shots at a time, converging in the center. Gimbaled so you can sweep around with it. I mean, this ship is... it's just beautiful. Brings a tear to my eye. It really does, though. I mean, this thing is so fun to mess around with. I'll say this one more time in case you guys didn't hear it, but once again, I am looking for fans of this channel, and maybe not even fans of this channel, just fans of Star Citizen in general. If you want to fly this ship, if you want to sit in the turret with me and do cargo runs and kill pirates, just drop a comment and I will get in touch, give you my handle, and we can play some Star Citizen together. But I think for right now, that's it, guys. If you want to see anything else about the Freelancer, or you have a specific ship, just like and subscribe. Drop a comment below, and I will make content individually for you guys. I have a huge dedication to YouTube. This is not my first YouTube channel. I've grown channels before, but I really think that Star Citizen is a very fun game to make content about, and I really want to make custom tailored content for the people out there who have questions, who don't understand Star Citizen, or maybe you do understand Star Citizen and you just want to see ships in flight that you can't afford. Well, let me know, because I will buy them for us. And I think that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching Star Citizen for Noobs. Like and subscribe, and use the referral code in the subscription if you guys want to sign up for a game package, you want to get into Star Citizen, and you use that referral code, you will get 5,000 extra credits to start in the Alpha universe with. Get yourself a nice set of armor, get yourself a nice assault rifle, get some ammunition and stuff, get yourself set up. It'll also help me out and allow me to do cooler things with this channel. If we get enough people doing those referral packages, I'll be able to get specialized ships and show them to you, give you guys gameplay. But thanks for watching so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one.